This morning, I got a comment on my YouTube channel, and I decided to name this live stream after it, Where to Play and Not Play Slots in a Casino. What a great question. If you've been coming to my live streams for a while, you know how important this question is. But if this is your first time, let me explain why. As I went over in last weekend's live stream a week ago, almost all casinos have marketing plans, which include how they group together and lay out their slot machines across the casino floor. Because these casino floor plans are carefully designed, we can take advantage of them. When I've spoken about this in the past, I called it the world's oldest slot machine strategy, or most recently, I even gave it a number, my strategy 9, location, location, location. But today we're covering something new. I'm going to try to fill in some details. So I'm going to in-depth on how you can find these slot machines in your casino. And it's a bit challenging because we don't have pictures of inside of casinos, but I found a few that I could legally use, and we will work on this. So just checking to make sure there's no problems in the live chat with my volume or anything like that. Wonderful. So today we're going to cover something new, this in-depth look at how you can find these slot machines in your casino. But let's back up for a minute to help those slots enthusiasts who are new to my YouTube channel. And exciting stuff going on in the live chat. Wish you were, if you're watching this later, I wish you were here. And but let's back up for a minute to help those slots enthusiasts who are new to my YouTube channel. Don't worry, I'll go through this briefing quickly. Slot machine manufacturers provide several sets of odds along with each slot machine they provide to casinos. And the casino can choose any one of these probability distributions to be activated on that slot machine. Back before central servers, casinos had an army of slots mechanics who could punch in a code, one of these probability distributions, sets of odds. I guess I should use that term. It's a little less of a 50-cent words. Great activity in the live chat. I always like to see that out of the corner of my eye. So the casino can choose one of these to be activated at any given time on a slot machine. Back before central servers, casinos had an army of slot mechanics who would punch in a code, one of these sets, to choose from, to choose which probability distribution was active on each slot machine. Nowadays, central servers do this in all but the few remaining riverboat casinos and convenience store sized casinos. They've switched over to having central servers do it. In large part, for any reason you would do automation. Any factory would, any business would do automation to reduce how long it takes to do it and not have to pay the people. They had an army of people that they had to pay to do all this, and it would take them a week to 7 to 10 days to switch them all out, and then they'd have whatever financial performance metrics that they chose. But it was also slow, and these days you had to turn things around quickly. Not to mention, being able to run a large size slots tournament with clipboards was getting out of hand. So in case you have any, so that explanation is very brief, but if you're new to my channel, then you may have some legal or random number generator concerns. So just to address briefly some of those misunderstandings, compacts and state gaming regulations don't set the odds of winning on slot machines. Not exactly, anyway. This is a myth. Some have chosen to provide a minimum theoretical limit, well below what a casino would use. For instance, Nevada's lower theoretical limit is 75%, but their state average monthly return statistic is usually 93%, 92.8%, right around there. Indiana's 90%, which is kind of like the high and the low in the US for reported state returns. But another point to make is that most state gaming regulations, even with a minimum theoretical limit, don't have a maximum theoretical limit. And the few that do have an upper limit have made it, the legal wording is over the lifetime of the game rather than per wager. What all this means is that casinos have a lot of flexibility with regards to what odds each slot machine can have. The final point to make in this briefing is addressing the general opinion that casinos would never set the theoretical payout over 100%. They certainly wouldn't do this on all their slot machines. Otherwise the casino wouldn't make a profit. But there's no financial disadvantage to raising the theoretical payout a lot on one, while at the same time lowering it a little on a bunch of other slot machines, including those right next to this winning slot machine. Could even be the same game. That's why I talk about end of row, and we'll get into what I've already said in the past, but more detail here. End of row, highly visible machines are often set up to have better odds than the same game sitting right next to it, which is not as visible. Okay, maybe you've experienced that. So the briefing is pretty much it. Now you're grounded with what's coming next, which is that we're going to find the few winning slot machines that are set up at your casino. There might be as many as 3, possibly 6 of them. You'll probably start with about a dozen. Half of those, as I'll show you the process, half of those won't be the ones they chose to set up on that visit. And so you'll come down to maybe 6. And it's possible it might be only 3. I've seen one casino, and I'll mention which one, that had none. And that's also possible. So, oh my goodness. And if you're curious about your state, or tribal state gaming compact gaming regulations, what if your state has a theoretical payout limit or limits? Well, visit professorslots.com followed by a / and then the 2-letter designation for your state. For instance, my Ohio slots article is at professorslots.com/OH. And yes, I've created and regularly update slots articles for all 56 U.S. states, territories, and our federal district. And of course, as usual, it's all free. So let's check in with the live chat to briefly say hello. It's been got lots of flashes out of the corner of my eye. And we have a few donations already. My goodness. Let's start them off. Chuck has given a donation of $20.46. Thank you so much, Chuck. It is a super chat, as YouTube likes to call it, so he gets the opportunity to say something, and he says, "Morning all." Thank you, Chuck. All these donations help me keep the show running, and I am not kidding about that. So thank you so much for that. And we also have Robe. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Rope. I can't show it on the screen because it's a different software package that I'm using. But in the live chat, it's a number 1 flag, a flag with number 1 on it, and it's waving back and forth. So thank you so much, Rope. And I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. And oh my goodness, Darlene has given a $20 donation. Rope gave a $20 donation. Darlene has given a $20 donation super chat and says, "Won my first jackpot over $11,000. Was it a good idea to pay the taxes? I did. Also, how much should I have tipped the attendants?" There's a lot of debate and conversations about, I'll answer the second question first, about tips. I will give $20 to the first slot attendant, but you also need a verifier. So when the verifier comes over and checks the paperwork, I give that slot attendant also $20. Now, that's what I do. But if it's $10,000 or more, then I give $100 to the first slot attendant, but there is no second slot attendant in most casinos. Instead, it's a floor manager, because of the amount has to be approved by somebody a little further up the chain. And so they can't accept tips, but I have managed to get them to take it for the tip jar for all slot attendants in the slot attendants break room. So I have been able to find ways to at least get it to some slot attendants. That's my choices. If I ever won over $100,000, it'd probably be $1,000 each. But I haven't gotten that high before. I think my largest is 27,000. No, it's 27,000 W2G for hand pay jackpot. However, I did win $40,000, but that was a 1099 miscellaneous because I won a car and took the cash instead. Details matter. Thank you, Darlene. The first question, should you have taken taxes out? That's really up to you. If it's your first hand pay, you said first jackpot over $11,000, but it may not be your first jackpot that was at a W2G attached to it. So you may or may not know what it's like to have hundreds of those, or maybe it's your first one. I don't know. So the question becomes, what do you need to do for your taxes? I'm setting up an interview with my CPA. It should be 2 weeks from today. He's going to be on the show, going to do a back and forth and answer your questions, everybody's questions about keeping gambling records. And he's a professional and I am not. So he can give you legal advice, professional advice. And I play a advisor on a YouTube channel. So, slept at a Holiday Inn last night and the old jokes. So, I like to, on my first hand pay of the year, just to have some cushion. But if you keep gambling records the way the IRS wants you to, then you can get those taxes back. Now, this is just, early December. And it's hard to keep gambling records if you haven't. If it's like December 31st, December 4th, there's not much left to the year. And maybe you go to a casino once a month and that might be it. So keep gambling records, put together what you have, and you can deduct up to your winnings. What most people don't do is have winnings, but it's a common question here because that's changing for you guys. Okay. So let's check. Oh, Magpie. Sorry, Magpie 11. Magpie 11 has a catchphrase. Good morning, winners. Thank you for putting that with your super chat. We all appreciate when you say these things. And I'm going to look through the questions here and see if we had some pre-show discussion. Again, if you're not at the live stream, you won't see the live chat. It won't be included in the recording. And so you only see all this great interaction to donations. People are asking about my dog, Isaac. He's a puppy. He turned 6 months last week. He's a golden retriever, an English golden retriever. So he's very whitish with a little bit of light golden across his back. Anyway, he was this big and now he is this big. So he's 60% of his full grown size. It's around 40 pounds or so. And he is doing great. He was being socialized in something called puppy kindergarten, not to advertise for vendors who socialize dogs, but it was puppy kindergarten, and he was going there for about 4 months. And it's important to have a dog be socialized when he's younger, so he doesn't get scared and has just a better life. So I did that, and I read about it, and I learned about it, and did it, and that is now past. He'll get more socialization, but not as systematic as that. Right, so moving on from Isaac, one of the cats, the two of the rescue cats that I have were been renamed Saboteur I don't know which one's number one and which one's number two, but now I have to put them away, sequester them, at least one of them, in the during the live stream, because they end up coming close to disabling my internet modem. And while it hasn't happened on a live stream yet, I'm not even sure how I would recover from that once the live stream is done. The live stream's done, but I was able to come back to a Zoom meeting, a group Zoom meeting from our Slots Enthusiast Growth Network, Thursday nights, when we meet up and have Q&As every week, or a social hour, and basically we all ask questions of each other and talk about our experiences and really learn from each other. And Gas Station Girl, hello. Journey, morning. Kissy Cat, yeah, it was very sweet of Chuck. Jan, Jan likes to make suggestions. She's Texas Tootsie in the live chat, and one of the suggestions that she made is has to do with my releasing this button. Let's see. Wes, probably abbreviations. Wes says the probability distributions plus random number generators, the match is equals the magic of slots. Love the challenge of finding the best slot machines to play on the casino floor. So this is how to find the best slot machines that we'll talk about on the casino floor, based on one strategy. There's also the goodness ratio, where you look at the pay tables. There's also some others, and sometimes you can find the same machine has both. But today's topic is about strategy 9, but I like how you put PDs plus RNGs it equals the magic of slots, because so many people just think it's RNGs. And I have analogies that I'm trying to, slot machines are not roulette wheels. The reels in slot machines are not roulette wheels. They're actually on a motor. I say things like that to help people understand how slots are different from table games. One of the other things is a lot of people say random number generators, not to go on about that misunderstanding. And it's like a car. And how does your car start? Is it just the battery? That won't start the car. Is it just the starter? No. Is it the starter and the battery? Getting closer. You need an engine too, and maybe an alternator and switches, and so I like how you are starting to break all this down and put it together, Wes. Well done. And Abilio. I apologize for not pronouncing your name correctly. They say the Washington slot state has been interesting lately, to say the least. From already being incredibly unique and interesting to begin with, I have an old live stream that talks about Washington slots, and it was like my most popular live stream ever. Just because the people in the state of Washington are like, what's going on? No other state has what we have. Other states have slot machines that are based on the state lottery, but the state of Washington has a tribal lottery system, a separate lottery system from the state lottery. And this one, their system of slot machines are based on scratch tickets, not draw tickets. So electronic virtual scratch tickets rather than draw tickets, as most other states that have, including Michigan, some of the casinos in Michigan are in Ohio have it based on the state lottery, but that's always the draw lottery, except for the state of Washington. So that just makes it incredible. And we talked for an hour about that previously. Let's see. Magpie says, my accountant is also a gambler. Well, my accountant has a YouTube channel. So he's been helping out people who are growing on YouTube, and he's interested in talking to us, and he can do a video because he's like on video. So that's why I suggested it, and he was like, "I'd love to." And so we're setting it up for 2 weeks from today on the 18th of December before we go on break, because the week after that it's Christmas Day. The week after that is New Year's Day, Eve, doesn't matter. And so we'll have 2 weeks off once we do that one. So I hope everybody will see that. And let's see, can you show losing lotto tickets? We'll cover that, Kissy Cat. If you're doing gambling deductions and you want to show your expenses, then you can just put them in a log. That's what the IRS wants. Then they say there's also a secondary. If you get audited, it would help to have some secondary receipts, like sports betting tickets. But people talk about just picking a bunch off the floor and taking those and using them. The IRS will actually look at them and see how you were at 3 different teller booths buying the tickets, all at the same identical timestamp. It's just like, don't mess with the IRS. I had I was a compliance officer at my last job, and we'd hear stories from the corporate office about how, yes, this person was interviewed by the FBI, and yes, they would have lost their job because of what had happened, but they weren't going to go to jail until they lied. So don't lie to the IRS. Not that I'm saying that you are, but I hear these suggestions, and that's part of the reason why I want to have my CPA and accountant on, is just to say, this is what you do, this is how easy it is, and this other stuff, I don't know where you heard that rumor, but this is not what the professionals are legally required to tell you. The inside jokes in the live chat. I'm telling you, we need to be here. Robert, I'm going to Las Vegas for the first time. Which casinos do you recommend for me to try my luck? There's a bit to that. You might best, it depends on your approach. I have an article, professorslots.com/Las Vegas visit. And it's Las Vegas let me do this for you. It's hard to say these things and get it right. So if I were to put in this screen here, and I go to professorslots.com, I write in Las Vegas visit, you'll get this: 7 secrets to winning on slots during your Las Vegas visit. I particularly like number 6, which is there's some stuff that's prep before going and some stuff that's debriefing after coming back, when to visit and when not to visit. Be very careful of weekends. This is becoming true in Reno as well, and now I'm beginning to wonder just how many other states, other cities in Nevada do this, where they lower the odds on the weekends for visitors and raise the odds during the week for locals. And then the average reported to the state is 93%. It's like hitting a wall. And that starts at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, and it ends about 10 o'clock in the morning on a Monday. So it's a long weekend. And it's really tough during those times. It's honestly, it's like hitting a wall. So there's 5 other tips that you can 6 other tips that you can look at here, and I think Magpie 11 might have a few things to say. I also have a Nevada, I can't show you that because it's private Facebook group, Nevada Facebook group. So if you wanted to go to professorslots.com/FBNV, you can join my Nevada Professor Slots group, and I think there's like 500 people there, and ask locals. I can do that, and I have one of those. Yes, I have over 57 Facebook groups. So you can ask locals what happened today. Right, and you're already getting some suggestions. Brian Lee says, "Why do I always take your questions and during the interlude, and we'll come back to it. I know it's an important topic today, but try to get through some of these questions." Brian Lee, so why do racino machines pay so poorly? It's very interesting. This is not an opinion. This is fact. If you go to Ohio, as I was just saying, there's some locations which are based off of the state lottery. These are the racetracks that have slot machines. They don't have table games. They don't have video poker. They only have slot machines and racing and horse racing and some simulcast. But if you go to at 7 locations in Ohio, but there's also 4 casino resorts. What is it? Toledo, Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati. And those are casino resorts based on the Gaming Commission. Now, the Gaming Commission, those 4 casinos, they have their returns. You get them from the State Gaming Commission. And if you look at them, you will see they're all 4 of them are better than all 7 racinos. It just is. Why? Oh, I don't know. It's not accidental, as we have seen in other states when I've gone over the return statistics, and I'll try to make that a regular thing so you can see how things change month by month. But there's like 18 states that provide this, 19 now with Maryland, and it's hard to find those, and somebody help me find those. And so when we look at those, you can see that some are up here, some are down there, same state, different casino, same gaming regulations. And why do they do all that? It's their choice. They can set their odds within certain legal limits, and they do so. Maybe the casino's isolated. Maybe it's not a lot of people going. Maybe it's, lots of business reasons. And that's what helps people to understand our topic today. There are a range of things casinos can do that have to do with having a business, a successful casino business, and we can take advantage of them. It's not like Washington State, where everything's based on scratch tickets, and it's just so hard to figure out how to win there because all the usual stuff that we find in all the other states, just about those that have gambling, is just like, nope, not happening in Washington State. So we had to figure out something different for that, and that's why that live stream was there. Oh, goodness, we've got a bunch of spam coming in. And let me quickly, remove. I think, yes, our moderator, Paula, is taking care of that. And apparently, spammer does not get the news that this will never appear at a later time. And it's a waste of their multiple emails and multiple accounts. Let me see if I can come back to, thank you, Paula. And Leonardo, hi, Professor, how I know the Canadians slot machine. So Canadian slot machines, their gaming regulations are the crown agency of your province, like the Ontario, thank you, Paula. The Ontario, what is it? Ontario Lottery Gaming, I think is what they call that one in that province. And there's a little bit of a write-up. You get some provinces which has a little bit to say. And so I don't have an article on the provinces of each of the provinces of Canada. I just talk about it a little bit. I also have, I haven't gone international, like Mexico and England, Australia. It's the direction I want to expand, but I'm a little short on manpower, and so I need to grow into that area. Sorry, I don't have a direct answer for you. When was that live Washington State live stream? I'm having trouble finding it. Is there an easy way for me to dig that out? Could you send me an email, john@professorslots.com, JON, and I will reply to anybody who's interested. I have it, but it's all sort of like, how do I get it to you, and how do I get it to anybody who wants it? I'll even put it, tell you what, I'll put it into the show notes of this video. So if anybody else is interested in an hour or so, it'll be in the video description. The link will be there for that. Okay. Keep moving, keep moving. Okay, I don't see a question in some of these. Oh yes, answering the question about Las Vegas. I leave that on the screen for you to read there. I think it's Brian, and give you a few more seconds, and then I'll move to Andrew's question. Andrew asks, do you play the VGT red screen slot machines? Unfortunately, I'm in Ohio. There are no nearby tribal casinos. Indiana opened one on the Michigan-Indiana border in South Bend. It's about 400 miles away. Don't want to give you the exact number. Find me. But I don't have those machines near me. I've been traveling to other casinos. If I were to go to 2 casinos a week, the 1,000 casinos in the United States, half of them being tribal, I'd be able to get to all of them in 10 years if I went 2 a week. So I need to make a trip to Oklahoma, which I'd hope to do already, but financially, keep the tips up and I'll be able to buy airfare and spend 3 days out there and solve that problem. I was able to do it from a distance for the state of Washington because there was enough in the gaming rules for me to be able to figure it out. But I need to play a VGT machine and uncover some of the things I know I've heard about, but I need to test myself. So I actually have to go there, and I want to go, and I haven't got a plan yet. Keep asking your questions. Union Betty, and let me come back to the full screen. According to your video, I usually play dancing drums and I play 5 plays before moving on if nothing is happening. I play in Upper Michigan. Yeah. Now, if the casino doesn't have it, you test first to see if the casino gives out taste. This is not about, me making you lucky. This is about what is the casino doing and how do you take advantage of it? And if they don't do it, you don't win. Sometimes they have tastes, but they've had them for so long that they've reduced the win amount. Anyway, I need to get back to what was my biggest earn. Okay, one more question, Collins Gang. Good morning, John. If you have time for small chatter, what was your biggest earn comp? Just curious. I think it was probably the Mercedes-Benz 350E. That's a comp, right? They gave me something, took the cash for it, came with a 1099 miscellaneous, but any comp that size would. After that, I suppose it was trips to Las Vegas. Limousines are expensive, and the airfare and the room and all the comps and the vouchers as a 7-star status individual, that all cost. I would say the cruise, the 7-day cruises, but you had to pay for the room upgrade and you had to pay for your own airfare, so it doesn't really quite as expensive. It isn't. That's not it, Paula. Okay. Back on topic. Appreciate all the Q&A. I am here to have these live streams to give you a Q&A section. Today was more than I was expecting, but that is okay. Thanks. I want to say thanks now to all the people who signed up for my course, 30 Days to Play Slots Smarter and Win. Besides its free bonuses and extra content that comes with the course, I explain everything you need to know to succeed at playing slots. Want the list of topics? See professorslots.com /30 days. So that is here. And if you scroll down through this, you'll see testimonials. Some of these people are in the live stream. and an explanation how things have changed, why this is a system that anyone can use. I've made it better because it has been a progression this year of having the what did I call it? The pre-sell, and then the beta version. And now I have fixed that. I plan to have 2 upgrades. I've done 2. I've created it this year back in March, and released it in May. And then in September, I did the first upgrade from the beta version. So basically 2 versions this year, and it looks like my launch schedule is upgrading it twice a year. Now, I haven't upgraded my book, Learning to Win, and I don't expect to, because it was how I learned to win. And while I'm still learning, I wanted to give people the explanation for where the beginning began with the book. But the course is being updated all the time, but I replace everything every 6 months. And in the past and in the future. But if you go here, you can find out what the first section is about. The second section is going over the basics. This is foundational work. You won't understand the words I use later if I don't tell you what the words mean. And it gets a little complicated because it's all state-based. There's no universal names for except class 2, class 3, and class 1, 2, and 3. But we talk about developing your plan, how to win at slots. This is not the strategies. After this section, it becomes all the different strategies. And this is where you'll find all 9 of my strategies, including the one that we're discussing. And then kind of where to go from there. Gambling records. So now you're winning. Congratulations. What's that like? Are you able to get out of the casino with your winnings because it's so new? And what about taxes? Particularly watch out for city taxes, because those usually don't include gambling deductions, while state and federal usually do. Watch out for those people who gamble in Oklahoma but don't live, are not a resident in Oklahoma, because they put a cap on how much you can do. Lots more questions coming in. One of these times I should make just bring me your questions and we'll just do questions. But so this is my site. If you go to maybe a shorter explanation, you click on any of the green buttons here, you will find, you will go to the page, and this is where it will give you my syllabus day by day. Each day is a video lesson. It has resources, it has bonuses, it has tasks, and we'll talk about one of those tasks. I'll share that task in a moment because it applies to our topic today. Okay, so let's unshare that. So if you're interested in understanding from front to back how to play slots, that is my offering to do that. It's $97, 50% off, $100 off, and that is there for you. So now let's get back to where to play and not play slot machines within your casino. There are different things to talk about here. So I've been doing casino reviews. Before I was doing casino reviews, sometimes I'd go to the casino and see if there was a review to offer, and I have Rivers, Pittsburgh, Foxwoods. Some of you may remember these. Lately, I did Mohegan, Miami Valley Gaming, Hollywood Lawrenceburg. I did a HHR, the Historic Horse Racing in Kentucky, Newport Gaming, and there's been others. Some I've gone to meet with people, but I never wrote it up. Like I went to see Chuck in Missouri at the Maristar Riverboat Casino, because I wanted to learn some things about riverboats, and because they're applied to a few people, not everyone, but a few people, and some things are, getting out of the casino with your money is the same, but they all have slot mechanics walking around changing the odds. While most other casinos have reduced that personnel, that workforce, and automated it. But then I went to Louisiana, and that will be a topic in a moment, with Jan. and went to 3 casinos in one day. Just about lost my voice because all I was doing was talking to Jan, pointing things out, and it feels like we were there for a month. We talk about stuff now, and one of the places we went to was Delta Downs. What was another one? Coshada Tribal Casino, and also I stayed at Golden Nugget in Lake Charles region. Okay, so when I went to these different casinos, I began to notice, like for Foxwoods, I was there for 3 days. They've got like 11 casinos. They just build on, but they don't make a new room exactly. They just add on to the building. So it's not like you leave a casino and go into another casino like you're on Las Vegas Strip. It's all just kind of like entering and leaving through big walkways. Not even that, just you're inside one big building. And when I started doing that, I started noticing the differences. If you go to one casino, like I did for a couple of years, I was one or two casinos. I was like, so there's a little bit of difference. I don't know what it means. And so when you go into a casino, when I go into a new to me casino, I walk around. I go for a long walk. I did this Soaring Eagle in Michigan on Mother's Day with Paula. And when I walk around, I look for the main aisles. These are wider than the usual walkways. There's some that are over by the bars and the different locations. And you've got, with strategy 9, the way to look for slot machines that you want to play, candidate slot machines, using that method is you're looking for machines that are facing towards you, to where people gather. And if there's something in front of that slot machine, like another slot machine, and so it can't be seen, it's blocked, then that's fine. That means it's not one, except if it's like a Wheel of Fortune machine with the wheel up high that can see over what's in front of it for distance. These are the sorts of things that you begin to look for. And I have a bunch of examples. They're hard to get these examples, but we'll go through what's possibly available. There are copyright restrictions to taking pictures in a business without getting a signed release. However, there is a free picture stock photo site where I can get a license for free photos, and I have a few of those to show you stuff, to show you things. So let's see. Do I make a living at slots? There's a live chat question. In fact, I do, but it isn't what you would think, because making a living at slots is to make 30% more than your bankroll. That's for me. For other people who aren't spending money going to new casinos and trying to learn at them, it's 50% profit over their bankroll. And when you say make a living, I'm sure you're talking about winning the Megabucks jackpot for 34 million or something. Well, you insult me, but I don't have to insult you. Anyway, always lovely to have a live chat. Some people are just, Moving on. Let's see. Let me share with you some of the photos. Okay, so let me minimize me. What I have is some photos. They're not very good. I have a couple that are better. This is Megabucks. I believe it is Las Vegas, and we really are too close. I mean, this has one thing I want to tell you about. This is a big display for a progressive, and I call this trying too hard. I don't think that this is a winning situation, partly because it's Megabucks, and it's just the worst odds in Las Vegas. They used to document it in the state returns, but then they stopped. It was awful. But anything like this, where it's a 15-foot tall cowboy and neon lights, statue sort of deal, you can tell the casino's working too hard. And so when I say slot machines that are displayed, Nice discussion going on about trolls in the live chat. Welcome to my world. But when you look at this picture, this is an example of what not to play. So I was asked the question, what to play, what not to play. So this is what not to play. Something that's a big display, that it's like the casino's trying too hard is the best way I know how to describe it. It's like, wow, look at that shiny lure on a string hanging with a hook just beneath the water while I'm, a fish going through the spot. It's just like, yes. And let's try another one. Okay, so I want you to ignore the video poker. I do talk about video poker. It is a slot machine outside of Nevada. Within Nevada, it is not a slot machine because of the gaming regulations that are very clear in Nevada and non-existent elsewhere. So if you kind of zoom in over to the side here, let me see if I can do that. And we can try to go like over here. All right, so I'm standing here in front of this big display that I'm not pointing you towards. And can I see this screen? Can I see that screen? Can I see that screen? No, I cannot. I cannot see if anybody wins on that. So I'm not saying this or this, but can I see on this one? Actually, almost. What you're trying to find is somebody that you can see the screen, but the head of somebody sitting there doesn't block it. So that's almost a candidate, but this is a candidate. Now let's go over to the other side and see if there's, this is a candidate. And maybe if I was on the other side of this display coming back the other way, that this monitor right here is projecting down this hallway, this aisle, that would be a candidate. So I'm just trying to go through these. So understand that, you have these slot machines that have a high up display, but it isn't where the win is. The win is down on these machines. The win is down here on these reels. But if you're on a Wheel of Fortune machine, the win, not all of them, just the spins, which are very attractive, are across the top. Now, this is the main machines that people ask me what my favorite machine is, and I say Wheel of Fortune because I have fond memories, because there was a casino in the back wall of the high limit room had these, and I would spin, and people would come into the high limit room because the opening was pointed out over to the table games, and people were like, somebody just won $10,000, somebody just won $5,000. I can see it, it's spinning, it stopped on it, and the lights went off. And so people would jump into the high limit room when they were walking by because they were pulled in by that. And that's why I was winning. It wasn't, it was great to make a profit, but the casino was just like, come on in, that machine's occupied, but play any other one just like it. Maybe, the one next to it. Please, don't make us pay. So if this was directed towards kind of an open bar, lunch, food court, one of them might have better odds. Now, it would not be the progressive, because the progressive is locked down, and that legal requirements on progressives are that they all have the same odds for progressive jackpots. And we have a lot of video machines lately that have a lot of progressives on them, the grand, the grand, major, minor, but maybe not the mini. That doesn't go up. And so just understand progressives that change with number of bets have lockdown returns, so that all the machines are identical. But the non-progressive wins on those machines, like anything down here on the reel that isn't the progressive win, would be adjustable. Okay. Right. So sometimes you get this opening in area. San Manuel has this, where you are in the high limit room and there's a bunch of machines kind of facing each other, but two machines are removed, and that's the opening. And maybe there's a machine that's kind of right in front. What do you see when you walk by that opening? What's going to draw your eye? What's going to pull you in if you saw a win? It's not the ones that are facing away from you. It's not the ones that are have obstructed views. It's going to be the one that you can see, and you turn your head and you're walking by the entrance. That's what to watch for. Now, I'm going to give you these are terrible, but you get this row And this is a little bit like Delta Downs, where there's a glass wall that prevents the sound from getting out. I don't know where this is from, but is it the end of the row? The one all the way in the end? Is this the first one? What's going on around all this? Where are these pointed at? And this is a lot of what you'll see in casinos like Delta Downs, which is just like set up like grids, and they don't even do this. They have a high limit room you can't see into because they put plants there. It's just like, you're hurting yourself. What are you doing? This is a little bit zoomed out. Apparently this is Las Vegas, a casino, and you can begin to see that this is not Delta Downs where everything's set up in a grid. This is the kind of layout that we're talking about, where it's all set up. Walkways, there's a wide aisle here. Maybe there's another one there. Where's the intersection? And speaking of intersections, this is Soaring Eagle in Michigan, a tribal casino. This is an intersection. I didn't really draw it well. This horizontal blue line is an intersection. It's a main intersection. It's a little wider than the cross intersection, the cross aisle. Over towards the left is the entrance. And as you walk this way, as you walk towards down the blue horizontal strip to the right, you'll see a bunch of slot machines, but none of them are really facing you, except this one that's been placed at an angle in the corner. Now, back over on the far right, go down that aisle, and it's the fine dining. But over here on the vertical aisle, if you go down, there's like cheap food, pubs, that sort of thing. And so if you're coming from that direction, then you're going to see this row of 3 machines. Or if you're coming back from dinner heading towards the exit, you'll see these 3 machines. So Paul and I sat down. I don't remember if it was 3 or 4 machines. First machine, second machine, say it was 4. First machine, played it, evaluated it, 20 bets. Am I winning anything? Get an idea what's going on, minimum bets. Second machine, third machine, sat down on the fourth machine, bonus round, bonus round, bonus round, bonus round, bonus round, bonus round, bonus round. And I came this close to getting the grand like 3 times, $10,000, and didn't get it. But I was just like, this is big time different from the other 3 in this row. And this is what you're watching for. This could be 2 of the 6 slot machines in that casino to play. Don't play the ones that don't get a view from a distance, that are low, and this machine blocks that machine. I'm kind of using my mouse. You're looking for, and both of these 2 starred machines were high up with displays across the seen from a distance and on this main walkway. So walk your casino, find the intersections, find the biggest aisles. And you know what? One of the biggest aisles is going to be outside of the high limit room. That's where they put them. And so stand up 15 feet outside of your high limit room. Look in. If you can't, if you're not Delta Downs and you got plants and a lectern standing in the way, reach in. Sorry. Thank you, everybody in the live chat. That was funny. One of the more recent comments. Right. So if you look through all of this, through your casino, find the intersections, find the main intersections, find the slot machines on that intersection that are obviously placed, but not like super obvious, like those megabucks ones that it's just like, wow, they sunk some money into that to make it kind of like, this huge display. You're looking for, at this intersection, obviously these 2 for people coming from this way before lunch and that way after dinner. It's just there. And you might find 3 machines in the casino like that, maybe 6. You might have to play 4 machines, 3 machines in a row to find out which one is set up that day to be the winner. Maybe none of them, maybe one of them, but not all of them. Even if it's the same game. Right. I think that's kind of what I wanted to go over there. But let's go. This is one of the things. Let me maybe not share this quite yet. Casino maps. In the course, one of the homework assignments is to do a stick figure of your casino with its main walkways. Particularly if your machine that you seem to be winning on, because some people have already started down this slots journey that I'm helping them on. Do a sketch. Some casinos, and it's becoming more popular. I'd hoped for a lot more to come out this year, but we've got all this other stuff to deal with. Some casinos, like for instance, Windstar, provides a map. Look, there's the casino map if you go to windstar.com. It's right across the top will be 3 tabs. And if you click on casino map, you get this. Now, what's great about this is, did I tell you about the casino features of the cafes, the bars, and other things that would be where people gather? So you can go to those locations, spot those locations, and look for machines pointed at them with high up displays. Anything that jumps out at you like that, but it isn't like super obvious that it's like bait. Okay? Cashiers. Oh, look, maybe you should check by the cashiers. Oh, maybe you should check over by the customer service desk. This is the largest casino in the world. We're down to 12 areas. Let's see, off-track betting is actually down here at the bottom. It doesn't have casino slot machines anywhere near it. There is a Lightning Link lounge here, which is all the way up there. So check outside of the lounge. Stand in the entryway to the lounge. I meant to say this about the high limit rooms. Stand 15 feet outside of it. Look into the high limit room. What do you see? What jumps out at you? Machines in the back that high up displays like Wheel of Fortunes or whatever. One's up front. What's being presented to you? Also, 15 feet in front of the high limit room, facing the high limit room. Turn 180 degrees around. Face the other way. What do you see? What machines are pointed at people leaving the high limit room who might get attracted to one of these other machines that's not high limits because it's facing them? Same criteria, but outside of bars, cafeterias, Hollywood, Lawrenceburg, I can't take pictures unless I have a contract, and I go to a different casino every time, so I can't get contracts. And despite this, but that's okay. I can describe these things. But these services that they are providing, one of the things you want to watch out for is, let's see, was it customer service desk? No. Was it cashiers? No. Watch out for these 2 cashiers. I'm going to zoom in. And the reason why I say this is it's a wonderful map. You can't see this, right? See if I can zoom in a little bit more. There's probably going to be, oh, look at that, under construction. So the high stakes rooms, facing out the slot machines that might be in the back. If these aren't table games, but instead slot machines facing out, there's a bar. Maybe there's something blocking the whole view, but that means that anybody over here can't see in. Under construction is not attractive. They won't bother setting up a slot machine that's facing construction to be setting up a slot machine to be a winner facing construction, because that's not a good business idea. But over here, this cashier's cage over here, well, is there even any slot machines there next to the restroom? What's going on in here? I know that's construction, but I have my suspicions this is not a good one. So you've already eliminated 2. I think this is probably table games, maybe. Just a thought. But then you've eliminated 2 of these cashier's cages, and what about these other ones? The slot machines on this side here that are facing the cashier's cage, these slot machines, are they high up to be able to see over these other slot machines? This is the evaluation you do when you're walking through the casino. Now, Windstar is a massive test. It's the largest casino in the world, and yours isn't that big unless it's yours. And so, there's a few things to be said here. I'm getting down to the last 30 seconds. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Yes, Kraus 3R Windstar is my casino. Well, use the map. Use the map. And I hope that I verbally explaining some of these things, giving what few images I have to share, is going to be useful for you to find, walk the casino, understand the intersections. How is things being presented to you? It only took me like 5-6 casinos, and suddenly I'm just like, that one, that one, that one, that one. Okay, so now I know what I'm going to do for the rest of my 2-hour gambling thing, and I'm going to do this, and it might be this one, it might be that one. Oh, it's this one. Okay, good. And this is what I do to win when new to me casino. I wish I could travel and try my other strategies of coming back a week later. But that would mean getting back on a plane or something. So to learn more about my 30 days to play slots smarter and win online course, which talks about all this, it's currently 50% off for $100 savings. Visit my website at professorslots.com/30 days for a complete description, testimonials, and the valuable bonuses you'll get free with the course, including lifetime access, 1 month free access to my new Slots Enthusiast Growth Network, where we have weekly Q&A sessions and social hours. We're having wonderful conversations there, and a free PDF of my book, Learning to Win, spreadsheet templates for slot gambling record keeping, including what the IRS wants, plus what you might want for gameplay analysis. So I have several versions of those, and that would help people who are asking that question on today. So my 30 days to play slots smarter and win online course for slots enthusiasts explains how to win at slot machine casino gambling. There's a lot more to winning than tips and tricks, which are here today and gone tomorrow. I mean, we see these casino maps and they're so wonderful, but what else is coming out? So I can give you tips and tricks, but I really want to teach you to, how do they put it? I could give you fish, but it would be better if I taught you to fish. That sort of approach. So instead, valuable tools and resources help you make the most of your slots journey. Yes, in my course, I go over my 9 winning slot strategies, but before them comes foundational work. It's, if you win, let's say you win and win big because of what you learn in the course. That's great. I'm happy for you. But do you know how to get out of the casino with your winnings? Winnings are great, but then what? Even the most practiced slots enthusiasts are journeying into new and perhaps unknown territory when they suddenly start to win more than ever. Newbie winners could easily end up spending all their winnings and regret it later. Don't regret your losses, but rather learn how to laugh all the way to the bank. See testimonials and more to understand your wise investment in purchasing 30 days to play slots smarter and win at professorslots.com/30 days. Whatever your decision, enjoy moving forward along your slots journey instead of being stuck in one spot, regretting losing your bankroll. Most first-time winners have no idea how to preserve their gains. This is so important because no matter how much you win, you can easily end up spending it all and regretting it later. So thank you so much. There's so many questions I didn't get to today, but now maybe you want to know what's my winning slot strategies. In this playlist right here, freely available, I explain each of them from my 5-spin method through taking advantage of casino promotions and holiday celebrations and the strategy we apply today. So click this playlist right here, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for a great show.